Lesson number 7, Sunday, November 6. A sealed tomb. Christ's mission seemed to have ended, and even failed, with his death on the cross. Satan succeeded in instigating Judas to betray the Savior, and the chief priests and elders to demand his death. After Jesus was arrested, all the disciples forsook him and fled, and Peter denied him 3 times. Now Jesus was lying in a tomb hewed out of rock, closed with a large and sealed stone, protected by Roman guards, and watched by invisible demonic powers. According to Manuscript Release, Volume 12, page 412, it says, "If he could, he, Satan, would have held Christ locked in the tomb." During his earthly ministry, Christ had foretold not only his death on the cross, but also his resurrection. Using the Eastern inclusive language in which a fraction of a day stands for a whole day, Jesus mentioned that as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. On other occasions, Jesus underscored that he would be killed, but on the 3rd day he would rise again. The chief priests and the Pharisees were aware of those statements and took measures that they hoped would prevent his resurrection. Matthew 27:62-66 says, "Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together to Pilate, saying, 'Sir, we remember that deceiver said that he was yet alive. After 3 days I will rise again. Command, therefore, that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say to the people, He is risen from the dead, so the last error shall be worse than the first.' Pilate said to them, 'You have a watch. Go your way. Make it as sure as you can.' So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting watch." How did these actions only help provide the world later with more evidence of the resurrection of Jesus? All security measures taken to keep Jesus locked in the tomb only made his victory over death and the hosts of evil even more noticeable, because all the precautions and measures that his enemies took to try to make sure it would never happen. Also, these men surely had heard of the miracles of Jesus. They had seen some of them too, and yet they thought that a guard over the tomb could stop him, the one who was able to do so many miracles, from being resurrected. Also, they put a guard around the tomb in case of what? That the disciples might steal the body and then claim that Jesus had been resurrected from the dead. When the people would ask, "Where is the risen Jesus?" they could say, "Just take our word for it." If nothing else, their actions revealed just how afraid the chief priests were of Jesus. Even after he died, perhaps deep down, they did fear that he might just be resurrected after all. From the book The Desire of Ages, page 778, it says, "The priests gave directions for securing the sepulchre. A great stone had been placed before the opening. Across this stone they placed cords, securing the ends of the solid rock and sealing them with the Roman seal. The stone could not be moved without breaking the seal. A guard of 100 soldiers was then stationed around the sepulchre to prevent it from being tampered with. The priests did all they could to keep Christ's body where it had been laid. He was sealed as securely in his tomb as if he were to remain there through all time. So, weak men counseled and planned. Little did these murderers realize the uselessness of their efforts. But by their action, God was glorified. The very efforts made to prevent Christ's resurrection are the most convincing arguments in its proof. The great and the greater the number of soldiers placed around the tomb, the stronger would be the testimony that he had risen. Roman guards and Roman arms were powerless to confine the Lord of life within the tomb. The hour of his release was near. Have a blessed day.